Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Next Goal Wins. Today, we're talking Leicester City transfer news. It's the weekly roundup. So yeah, let's start off with the news that Leicester City look like we're going to be losing Esteban Cambiasso this season. It looks unlikely Cambiasso is going to sign now for another season. I mean, it's been dragging on and on, as we all know, and eventually it looks like he's not going to be signing. This obviously comes on the back of the news that we're linked with a lot of midfielders, which I'll talk about, but also it looks like Cambiasso might be joining West Ham, which a lot of fans have seen as betrayal, joining another Premier League team, which I get. I mean, I understand that. For me personally, I'd be disappointed if he joined another Premier League team. I'd rather he went to the MLS or abroad, but you know, I can't begrudge him for wanting to join West Ham. I mean, they might have Europa League football, so to end his career there, I'm sure he'll be loved by their fans, and we're bigger than Esteban Cambiasso. We have to be Leicester City Football Club. We can't be Esteban Cambiasso Football Club. But it'll be a massive loss. I mean, it leaves our midfield very bare if we don't bring anyone in without him. And we know how influential he was to the team last season. Not just himself on the pitch, but his presence was massive for the team. I mean, the points he won us just by being on the pitch, I'm sure, was massive. And massive for the team to be playing alongside a player like Esteban. Speaking of Cambiasso though, because he looks like he's going to be leaving, we've been linked today with two Chelsea players who it looks like could be coming in. There's Oriol Romeu and Nathan Ake. Now Nathan Ake, we'll talk about him first. He's more of a defender, but he can play like defensive midfield. Been on loan at Reading last season. Chelsea, they expect a lot of him at Chelsea. They think he's a good young talent. Apparently this one's been going on before Ranieri joining, actually, but he's been asked by the coaching staff to look into Ake more. They see him as the man to fit the bill for Leicester. They've been looking for a long time. I imagine Walsh and Shakespeare have been looking and have identified Ake as a man they want to replace Cambiasso. For me personally, I haven't seen enough of Ake to make a judgment, but he's still young and he's got a lot of growth. But I would worry that if we do bring him in, and Romeu, I'll talk next, we might not have anywhere near enough experience in that midfield. I mean, none of them have played more than a handful of Premier League games between them. And speaking of Romeu's got more experience because he has been playing in a top division. He played last season on loan at Stuttgart, played 27 games, and he's played for Valencia before that for a fair amount of games. So he doesn't lack as much first-class top league experience as Ake does, for example, but still it's not as much as you'd hope from a top-level team to have two midfielders who, yes, they could progress into brilliant stars, but at the moment are too young, I feel, to be thrust in there and expected to perform. Along with that, Kante deal still dragging on. We're no closer to finding out if Kante is going to join us or not. You know, Marseille apparently have pulled out. Can say that he's welcome to go. He said that the appointment of Ranieri was important to him on whether he was going to join Leicester or not. We don't know if that's for better or for worse. We just know that was his opinion, but it was important that Ranieri was there. I would hope he would join us. I'd hope he joins us. I mean, I can't see a better prospect for him, I should say. Cannes isn't a place that's better than Leicester at all, so you'd think he'd want to join Leicester and play some Premier League football. Another one is the Sacco deal that we know about. Sacco seems to be dragging on, and I'd be surprised now if Sacco does end up joining us. If he does end up joining us, then it'll be for a lot of wages, and it's not really wages I think we need to spend on a winger like that. I'd rather spend them elsewhere on a midfielder, which we obviously need, especially if Cambiasso does leave. More transfer news that we've been linked with Slimani, the striker we've been linked with for a few summers now, the Sporting striker, an Algerian striker. Obviously we'll know Mahrez, but we've been linked with him for a few transfer windows now. £10 million being talked about. Again, I'm not sure we need a striker. We don't need another striker at the club. I'd rather spend that £10 million on a top-class midfielder than another striker. But if we do bring in Slimani, he does offer goals. He scores goals for Sporting and for Algeria. Not as many as people might hope, though, but kind of the same scoring record as Okazaki really has. It doesn't score 20, 30 a season, but will get you valuable goals. Not really many other players we've been linked with. Few of the stories brandishing about like Carlton Cole, but these are just tedious Ranieri links. There's Mendy, another player who apparently defensive midfielder who Leicester after Nampalys Mendy. He's another defensive midfielder, kind of like Kante, who I can't see Mendy being one we're going to go after. There's talk about the young right back from Monaco, but that's another tedious Ranieri link, I think, just because he managed him. And we're going to get that. We're going to get these Ranieri links that will never turn into anything and will never progress. But because Ranieri's the manager, we'll be linked with all these players who he managed. Anyway, this is what the future will hold for Leicester. these transfer news are going to keep coming, but we're going to get more and more links as the 3 weeks now to the campaign draw closer. Anyway, please like the video, leave your comments below and subscribe to me. I'll see you in the next one.